Hi guys, tinyninja here. Today I have the Desert Assassin guide for you on patch 10.2, which is getting quite popular. I will rank the comp A tier as it is very item reliant and can be hard to pull off. Also, crystals hard counters it because you cannot burst them down, which is the essence of this comp. Singe somewhat soft counters it as the melee AI struggles to attack the Singed running around, and most assassins in this comp are melee units. As we know, other strong comps such as Rangers and Predators all run Crystal and Singed. Berserker comps run Singed as well. Those comps are A and S tier in the current patch. Now let's go over the team lineup for Desert Assassins. Most of the time this is the team comp you will want to achieve, which is Renekton, LeBlanc, Nocturne, Azir, Silver with the Ghostblade, Kiana, Zed, and Kha'Zix. Now we use LeBlanc instead of Diana because she is a range champion and has a nice CC. Also, she can be used in early game with Woodlands. As this comp is very item reliant, I want to go over the items that you will need for this comp first. Kha'Zix is your main carry here, and these are the best item combo for him: Infinity Edge, Blast Sister, and Quicksilver. These items give Kha'Zix the damage and survivability to carry your fights. The Quicksilver is actually very underrated and important for this comp, as it stops Kha'Zix from getting CC'd and are able to crit and lifesteal back up to keep carrying you. Other items that you can put on Kha'Zix if you cannot find all of those three items are Rapid Fire Cannon, Hexed Gunblade, Seraph's Embrace, Sphere of Sojourn, Warmarks, Deathblade, or Guardian Angel. Basically, 2 offensive items and 1 defensive one. Your secondary carry can be either Zed, Silver, Kiana, or Nocturne. You can place other items on those units as you see fit. Spell-oriented items on Kiana, and physical damage items on the other champions. If you have 3 BF swords and aspiring gloves after Crux, it is a good indication that you can pivot towards this comp. While Spatula is very important, getting it in the early carousel is a very risky move, as you may not have enough BS swords for the comp to work. You rather get another item as it is easier to pivot away from this comp if you didn't get enough BF swords. You can always build IE first if you manage to find the components for the start, as many of the comps use this item if you end up transitioning away. Okay, let's go over how to play for each stage of the game with this comp. Early game. There's quite a few good options out there for early game. The strongest one in my opinion is Woodlands, with Maokai, Ivern, Nico, and LeBlanc. You can also have Renekton in either Azir or Silver for the desert buff. You can use either Maokai, Ivern, or Nico to hold on to your Kha'Zix items. Another strong early start is Electric. Woodlands and Electric are the strongest early game traits in my opinion. So we can have Ornn, Renekton, Jax, or any other Berserkers, and Volibear. You can even add a Israel for the Glacial buff. Israel and Ornn and Volibear, they are all good carriers for Kha'Zix items, as they benefit a lot from Sparring Gloves and IE. You can also use a Blade Master start, as it is a very similar comp using the units such as Renekton early, then transition into Azir and Silver. It is very powerful on the Cloud map, with the Cloud Kiana and Yasuo for the early Cloud buff. You can also run Leona and Karma for the Lunar trait, which is how you normally run the early game with the Blade Master comp. Also, if you manage to find a 2-star Diana, you can put it in and out of the setup as you see fit. So on the Infernal Map, we can actually start with Diana, Zyra, Kindred Varus. You can add in Renekton and Azir for Desert, or Renekton and Silver for the Desert buff, or you can have Leona and Karma for the Lunar buff, and later on you can add in Kiana to keep your 3 Infernal traits. So when running this, you can have your items on either Kindred or Varus, as they are good item holders for Kha'Zix. There are a lot of ways to play the early game, and you can even run Predators or Rangers, which will have units that can hold Kha'Zix items. Most of the time you will want to use Renekton as your front line, and you could always throw in 2 random orders like Leona, Nasus, Ornn to be your front line if you can't find a 2-star Renekton. Now we're at the mid game. The The most cost-effective way is to run 2 deserts and 3 assassins at this point, which is what you want to run if you manage to find your Kazakhs early as well. Make sure you have at least 1 level 2 desert and 2 level 2 assassins before you start using the setup on the board, or else stuff like Woodlands is still stronger until you have your 2-star for your units. Also, you want to transition your other units to units that synergize as well with Kiana, or maybe hold on to your Luna. This way, you don't have too much of your assassins sitting on the bench. For the ocean map, you can add in either Trish or Nautilus. For the cloud map, you can add in either Yasuo or Jaina. For the mountain map, you could have Talia early game, and then once you found your Malphite, you can swap in for the Malphite in mid game, which is very strong. For the Infernal map, you actually want to keep your Diana, and you can add in Kindred or Annie, or even keep your Zyra if you find a 2-star early game, or your Varus. Alternatively, you can run summoners like Annie and Yorick with Azir, which is very strong. However, if you are struggling to find those units as those summoners are highly contested, you can run Blade Masters, or if you manage to find a 2-star Nocturne early, you can actually run Steel as well. So let's talk late game. Sometimes you may not hit all the assassins and desert units you need. If you have 4 desert units, you can run 4 desert and 3 assassins, while having Warden and Mystic depending on the lobby you are fighting. Same goes with 2 deserts and 6 assassins. Alternatively, you can transition into Summoner Sin's comp, which is very strong right now, running Azir, Kiana, Kha'Zix, Annie, Yorick with 2 Mystics or 2 Wardens depending on the lobby you are fighting. If you manage to complete your comp and also hit level 9, you can consider pulling in the following units for the extra synergy. The best pickup, in my opinion, is Lux, with Electric Lux being the best to power up your Z. Steel Lux with Nocturne is quite good for defensive. Also Cloud Lux as well, especially with Kiana, is probably better than Steel with Kiana on the Cloud map. Crystal Lux can be quite tanky on its own, and Ocean Lux is good by itself that can give you the Ocean bonus. On the Infernal map, you can add an Infernal Lux with the Infernal Kiana, or even use a Diana instead of LeBlanc for 4 Infernals. Aside from Lux, you can add in a Mumu for the CC, or Taric for the defensives, or on the motion map you can add in Nami for the ocean buff and the CC. If you cannot find 5 cost units, you can add in Rek'Sai for the steel buff, you can add in Ornn or Volibear for the electric, or you can add in Yorick or Annie for the summoner buff. Now let's go over how to econ and when to level for this comp. It is a very standard econ and leveling strategy building this comp. You level 5 at Crux or after the first carousel if you want to maintain your win streak. You want to level to 6 at 3-1 or 3-2 depending on your econ. Then you can either roll at 3-5 to level 7 if you want to roll aggressively, or 4-1 for a more standard roll. I would suggest you getting to level 7 before 4-1 and trying to pick up your 2-star Kha'Zix as soon as possible, as your comp is online once you get your 2-star Kha'Zix. Being level 7 also means that you have a 33% chance to get your 3 cost units, which is most of the comp, and it is made out of Kiana, Silver, Azir, Nocturne. Then you will need to start saving your gold after the 4th carousel and try to get to level 8 by 5-3. And that's it for the guide. If you like this guide and it has helped you, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Mixer stream. Info should be in the video description below. It will be much appreciated and motivates me to make more contents like this. Also, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments or jump on my stream and ask me and I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.